viewers, welcome to another episode of The Now Show, your show for overcomers and winners, taking you on a journey to becoming the best version of you. And joining me on today's episode is a man whose journey is surely going to inspire somebody. My brother, my friend. We've come a long way.
Yeah.
Mr. Enahoro Okai. Oh gosh.
Pleasure to be here. Wow.
Thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for doing this with us. And today's episode is called Drum Coach to Life Coach. The story of Ena.
I like how that sounds. Drum coach to life coach. The story of Ena. Yeah.
Yes, that's you.
It's a very good capture.
Wow.
Yeah,
so now you're going to take it on from there because...
So I'm supposed to say everything.
Everything.
Right?
The way it went.
The title alone points to the fact that as human beings, we are multifaceted. There's no one thing that we would be, and that is all. And what comes to mind right now is the fact that purpose is not talent. Purpose is not skill.
Wow.
Purpose is something that is bigger than your talent and your skill, and irrespective.
I need you to come again on that. Purpose is something that is bigger than your talent, please.
And your skill. Because, I mean, you said the story of Ena from drum coach to life coach. So whether I'm playing drums or it's life coaching or it's training, that the purpose would be to help people move from one place to the other, from where they are to where they need to be, based on where they are in their life. So I remember training people on drums. I mean, from your son, who is a big man now.
That's how you came into my life.
to teaching people drums in the university.
Even going back to then, I remember seeing you on the drums and thought, wow, this is a bad as in good, you know? You were so good on the drums that I said, I need my son to be able to drum like this, you know? Please come into my life and teach my son to drum like you know? And it just shows how focused you have always been.
And I think the most important part of the drum for me is not just the playing, but the teaching people. Because I found the secret to help people play the drums without me holding their hands, without me teaching them like play like this, just by the book. And it just points to the fact that all I do as a human being, my purpose as a human being is to give people leverage to what they want to become, to where they're going.
That's why you're Mr. Leverage today.
Exactly. So if anybody is listening, you should, because if talent is the purpose, there's a time where you will not be able to use certain talents anymore. So for example, you've got a talent of playing lawn tennis. I've got a talent of playing drums. What if you get to a place where noise cannot be made? So what happens? You're not fulfilling your purpose anymore? Or what if you get to the age where you can't do that skill anymore? I mean, people like Serena Williams, by the time they are 35, 40, they say they are retired. If that is talent, I mean, if that is purpose, then are they done?
Wow.
So you would find out that if creating Microsoft was the purpose of Bill Gates, then he created it. It's everywhere in the world. It's on every table. Then what next? But if you look at what he's doing today, you'll be able to find a link between the foundation helping the world to Microsoft helping the world. You know, so our talent is not the purpose. The purpose is that the reason for which we are on earth. And you can achieve the purpose with your talent. You can achieve with your skill. You can achieve it with a different phase of your life in your 20s. And when you get to your 30s, it's a different skill entirely. When you get to your 50s, you're still achieving the purpose, but you're not using the same skill or the same talent that you're using 10, 15 years ago. Just like I'm still achieving my purpose, but I'm not playing drums the way I used to play drums. But I'm helping people move from one stage in their life to the other.
I need you to take us on the journey of how you went from being this young boy in school. Actually, you went into drum coaching because you needed to raise money, as it were, or make
Yeah.
some extra income. Let's put it that way.
So drum.
And how you came from that to where you
where
are
I am
now.
today.
Yes.
It's a long story, but we have a short time.
Yes.
So first of all, I found drum as a solution to poverty at home. So if you have a talent and you're a young person, ask yourself, what talent do I have that can provide money for me today? So growing up, things used to be very good for dad, and like a lot of Nigeria story, all of a sudden everything turned around, and I just realized that from 5 years old, I've been playing drums from one church to the other. But by age 13, I went to Lagos State University to play someday, and then they shared money. And it was a light bulb, like, okay. It was a light bulb for me. So I went home that day, teenager, like, okay, so I can make money with this thing. And since that day,
Wow.
I planned that immediately after secondary school, I was going to do everything to make sure that I am making money with drums. Now, that will do a lot of things for me.
Wow.
First of all, it will reduce the number of people that are dependent on my sweet, loving, darling mother. For food. It will reduce the pressure on her life. So after secondary school, I couldn't wait. But to do that, I had to leave home.
Yes.
To go somewhere, just go somewhere, because we're staying very far from town.
Yes.
So I remember the day I was leaving home. I was leaving home for several reasons. It's either I'm going to be playing drums, or I'm going to be working as a server in parties.
Okay.
Because I found out that young guys were doing that around that time.
At that time.
Or I was going to be selling something. I knew I was going to do something, and I could leave home and go to an aunt that stays on Lagos Island.
Okay.
And I remember that day I was leaving home, my mom was crying. And she said to me, this is not her plan. And then she prayed for me. I took my bag. As I was walking out of the house, I said to myself, I would never come back here again to live here.
Wow.
I would only visit.
Wow.
Like I said it, and that was 16.
Wow.
I was 16.
Wow.
And I promised myself that there was not going to be a reason why I would come back to live under my mother. As a child, I was going to sort myself out. So I got to Lagos Island, and
What
a lot of stories.
determination for a 16-year-old.
So,
That's amazing.
the first thing I did was to enter a church called Grace Assembly, a Redeemed Christian Church of God, McCarthy Street.
Yes.
And I met the drummer, and I said, I play drums. I said, okay, really? And then he said I should come around from time to time. And because of that, I got known in that church. Once in a while, I come around.
Yes.
And then I heard that a church was going to be open. It's called Throne of
Throne
Grace.
of Grace.
And then they needed a drummer. And there's one young man around, and I joined Throne of Grace, even though I was not being paid, but I was promised as a young man that whatever you need, to help yourself, we'll take care of. But we're not going to be paying you. Maybe because I was young, but whatever it is, I was in the midst of good people,
Yes.
better people, and people who appreciate the skill that I have. And then because of that, it saved me from a whole lot of things that I would have done. I remember that one day someone walked up to me on the drums in church and said, "What do you do?" And I said, "Nothing really." And he said, "Would you want to work in an office?" I said, "Yes, why not?" And he said, "See me in this office tomorrow."
Yeah.
That day, we had concluded that the Monday, the next day, I would go to CMS bus stop.
Yes.
I would carry a bag of pure water on credit, and I would start selling pure water.
Wow. Wow.
So in my mind, I was already selling pure water in CMS bus stop, right? I got to the office the next day, and I started working as an office assistant. And then I also joined a band at 17.
Yes.
I was the drummer. It's called Chords Band. And so they paid me, I think, 1,500 naira per month to play drums as a member of the band.
Yes.
And I was also going to church. And that's how Drum started feeding me. Even though I was working as an office assistant, the money that I had to live life, one show after the other, like coming to Nadina. And then there was always a show, there was always a vigil, there was always a parish we're going to minister.
Yes.
And when Cods left for Abuja, my friends and I, Fumi, we came together and we created Jehoshaphat Ministries. And that kept on. That's where I get money from. You know, like day-to-day money.
Yeah.
You have to play one wedding and all of that. And that's about drum. I went to the university. I had a music school in the university. So every term we had students that were paying us to learn drum so that we could survive. And then all of that happened. I came out of the university. Just before I came out of university, again, strategy. I decided to join a church at 400 level so that when I come back to Lagos, I wouldn't be looking for a job. Drum would still be feeding me. So I joined Fountain of Life Church as a drummer. I went for audition. I was picked. And then I started coming to Lagos for service from school. So I travel twice a week. I come in on Friday. I play vigil, rehearsal Saturday, Sunday service. I go back. I come in on Wednesday for midweek service. I go back on Thursday morning. But it was very important, even though it was hectic, that when I finished university, I wouldn't have to be looking for a job or something to eat because I knew there was nowhere to go.
Yes.
So drum saved me there again. Then I joined Sugar Band. Sugar Band is like one of Nigeria's most popular bands. And then with Sugar Band, we went all over Nigeria. So at that time, it was not about what are you going to eat. There was show on Thursday.
There was food on the table.
There was show on Friday. There was show on Saturday. There was show on Sunday. There was church service. And then I was playing in Sheraton. So drum was just taking care of everything for me. And then a time came. I started feeling, you know, the emotion is not being satisfied on the drums. And I started to wonder what's going on. At that time, I was already speaking for the Chinese guys because I joined the network marketing. You know, when you play drums, you are either playing in a service on Sunday and you're done.
Yes.
Or you play in the midweek service, so the main part of the day you're free.
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, when there are no shows, Thursdays with Sugar Band, I'm just there. I'm saying, what will I do with my time? So I heard of all these Tianchi, GNLD, all of those things. Yes. And I decided to join one. And because they said, I mean, bring 30K and you would make a lot of money. So in the process of looking for downlines, I then realized that the talent that I've always known that was there, which is teaching and speaking, found another expression.
Wow.
So, my first seminar to help people gain financial freedom as a network marketer and to sell the network product to them was bring people into the hall to introduce the program to them. And then my upline said to me, so I'm going to be speaking. And I said, no, I'm going to be speaking. You know, see, I want to speak for you so that you will get a lot of downline. And see, I did not ever imagine that he was going to be speaking for me. Like, it was not even part of my plan. It was my seminar. I needed downlines. And I'm going to speak. And he said, can you speak? And then I realized that I had never thought in my life that I cannot speak. So it was nothing for me. I just went up there and I started teaching. I had my presentations all planned, well organized. Wow. And when I was done, everybody started asking me, have you done this before? Then it started dawning on me. Wow. That I was doing something that some people don't know how to do.
Consider the big deal.
And then the Chinese guys came to me and said, that was good. Can you speak to us? Can you speak for us every Wednesday? We'll pay you 1,000 naira for teaching. I'm like, okay. Yeah, so we'll do that.
Yes,
and then I found the speaking skills.
Wow.
I met Mr. Olakunle Shorinyo because I was confused. Now there's speaking, there's drumming, there's network marketing.
So where should I really...
Okay, so which one am I going to do now? I got confused, and thank God for mentoring. Nanos Gigantum Humoris Incidentis. That is the Latin for dwarfs standing on the shoulders of giants. I think one of the most important crossroads in my life was meeting Mr. Olakunle Shorinyo, who sat with me and looked at all my skills and said, this looks like consulting. Though he thought it was going to be music consulting. But he then told me to go and pray. Say, now go and pray. Ask God, what are you supposed to be teaching? Because everybody teaches something.
Yes.
And then I went to pray. Until I prayed. Like, that was like the most sincere prayer of my life.
Wow.
And I heard leverage. I came back to him. He said, what is leverage? What's that? Like, what does that mean?
I mean, when I saw you, Mr. Leverage, what's leverage? We had never heard about this
What
thing.
does that mean? He said, just a word. He then said to me, go and imagine that you're teaching people about leverage. And put together some PowerPoint and let's see. That was the journey that led to my first product.
Wow.
Training product, CDs called the Leverage Triangle. The first one was the M Advantage, then came the Leverage Triangle. The 3 people you need in life: the man ahead, the man around, the man behind. You have to leverage on them.
Come again on that. The 3 people you need in life.
Yes.
The man ahead.
You have to leverage on the man ahead when you're starting, when you're stabilizing, like we are doing now. You have to leverage on the man around. Collaboration. And then when you've gone ahead in life, and you look back, you want to have behind. You have to look at the man behind, and that builds legacy.
Wow,
when I
amazing.
did that, I mean, it created a program, and we started proposing. Companies bought into it, and so I had to go and learn officially, train the trainer.
Yes.
So I went to ITF, and while I was doing all of that, we started the company, and then I realized that there's something else. I need to help people. There was no science of helping people, so I realized coaching was the science of helping people.
Yes.
So I went for life coaching certification.
Wow.
While I was doing that, I found emotional intelligence, which we're very big on today. How did I find that? I was called by a company to come and speak on emotional intelligence. At that time, if you ask me anything, I'll say yes. Can you
there was no no in your dictionary.
No.
Wow.
Can you teach emotional intelligence? And then I said yes. And then we prepared for it. I taught this company managers on emotional intelligence, and it was awesome.
Wow.
And then they gave me another deal. And then I started to ask myself, what is it in this emotional intelligence? I did the research. I found a company in the US. I traveled abroad. I got certified. And that is the journey that moved me from drumming to life coaching and training, consulting, and all of that.
Wow.
The point is, in the midst of what you're doing now, the next chapter is available.
Wow. In the midst of what you're doing now, the next chapter.
Just like we say, there's a grace for every level.
Yes.
There's a voice for every next level.
Wow.
If we listen very well, we shouldn't take where we are today, like glorifying it and say, wow, I've arrived. There's always something bigger for us to do that is waiting for us. And if we listen very well, when you begin to feel dissatisfied with where you are, not as in dissatisfaction as a feeling where you're not satisfied with life, but you're not comfortable anymore with what you're doing. You think you can do more. It is true. You can actually do more. And the name of where you're going, whatever it is you want to go and do, it's like saying to a leader, the next vision you need to bring to your people is in what is going on right now. You don't need to go and craft a vision. Look at what is not working in your department. That's the vision for the next 5 months, for the next 3 months. If you guys are not coming to work on time, that's a new vision. Promptness, that's a vision. If you guys are not collaborating well, that's a new vision. And it means that in what we're doing now, in the now show, the next chapter of your life will be birthed. You would look back and you will ask yourself, really, I didn't plan for this. But inside what we're doing now, it's just going to open like a next chapter, like the next trip. Somebody's going to say, so now that we're doing the now show, so the next thing is to then go on TV. And then from TV, the next thing is to then open our own television program or something. You just begin to see. It just continues to open. And that's what happened to me. If I didn't listen to the voice that kept saying, what are you doing here? I mean, I was playing and the voice will be louder than the music.
Wow.
I'll be playing, and no stopping us now. I'll be jamming, and I'll be going, what are you doing here?
Wow.
Everybody is happy. The stage, people are jamming, people are dancing.
Yes.
Where I am, I'll be hearing what I'm
alone with that voice.
And I knew I had to stop. The day I told Sugar, the head of Sugar Band, that I was going to stop, it was shocking to everybody. Everybody, what's wrong with you?
You're making good money.
There's show every Thursday. There's burial on Thursday. There's something on Friday. There's wedding on Saturday. There's birthday on Sunday.
Yes.
That was like the logic.
4 days of constant income.
So but I listened to that voice, and I thank God that I did. Because a friend of mine said to me 2 weeks ago, he came to my office, he plays the bass guitar.
Yes.
He said, and we all knew that drums was too small for your expression. He said, so we were not surprised when you started to do something else.
Yes.
So drumming alone wouldn't have expressed who you really are. So
all that had been deposited in you.
Yeah. So drumming alone wouldn't have done it.
Wow.
I'm sure that if that voice didn't come at that time,
Okay.
it was going to come at another time. So today, drumming for me is leisure.
Yes.
It's therapy. It's no more something to feed me.
It served its purpose then.
Yes. I would love to teach, but training, consulting, coaching, and all of that
Yes.
will not give me so much time for it. But talent is powerful. It is.
And this training, consulting, coaching that you're doing is so time consuming. I mean, getting you here hasn't been that easy.
No. I would come anytime.
But we thank God for relationships, and thank you for agreeing and doing this with us, because I mean, I know getting you isn't very easy,
It's my
nowadays.
pleasure to be on the Now Show. It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much, Eda. So what do you say to that young man, that young woman out there who is having, hearing different voices, telling them that, this is what they should be doing? What would be your advice to them?
The first thing is get a mentor. That
Okay.
is my story.
Okay.
I was confused. And a mentor is who you go to look for, right? The man ahead, you have to go and look for the man
You
ahead.
have to go and look for the person.
For the man around, we find ourselves. For the man behind, the leader looks for the man behind and build them for posterity and legacy purpose. But you as a young person, you should begin to ask yourself, who is around that is walking the path that I want to walk?
Okay.
That is at the destination that I want to be, the journey that I want to take. Look for that person. I'm hoping that you'll be able to find a good one. And if you look for well, you will find one. And the next thing is keep at it. That's probably one of the greatest weaknesses of the people around these days.
Wow.
Take that thing, stay with it. If I didn't stay with drums, it wouldn't lead me to where I was going.
That's right.
And if
That's
I started
right.
training and consulting 12 years now, 12 years plus, if I didn't stay with it, we wouldn't be
Yes.
where we are today. So you can't keep jumping from one thing to the other,
other.
just jumping like that. Stay there. And tenacity. I hear smart work is better than hard work. But in the values of our organization, there's hard work.
There's a place for hard work.
I know smart work is, I love the cliches,
Yes.
smart work. But I think sitting down and grinding that book and studying that skill is not smart work. It is hard work to wake up in the night and study that thing. Knowledge, I said on Instagram some days ago, from one age to another age, from industrial age to stone age to information age to the fourth industrial revolution, one thing would never go away, and it is knowledge.
Wow.
Knowledge would suffice in the stone age. Knowledge would suffice in the jet age. Knowledge would suffice in the fourth industrial revolution.
Yes.
Knowledge would always suffice. And to know knowledge, to have knowledge, you have to know. To know, you have to study. So I don't know how you want
to study.
to know, like to show yourself approved. You have to sit down and study. So if you find yourself in the space of football, if you find yourself in the space of videography, if you find yourself in the space of teaching, whatever space you find yourself, with a mentor and with sitting down to know, you see, value exchange would always be given for knowledge.
Wow.
There's no doubt about it. You would pay for what you know, and you, the knower,
I like the way you say that. You the knower.
you will receive value. You will receive. People will pay you because we can't pay you for what you don't know. So get a mentor. Listen deeply to that mentor or a coach. A mentor, a coach, and then when you find that path, sit down there and promise yourself that you would be one of the best in that path.
Wow.
And to be one of the best, you have to study when people are Instagramming for play. You would have to study when people are joking and are going for parties. You will have to study other people's websites. You will have to study books. You would have to, and you know, I'd never worked for anybody, but I'm consulting. I'm training. How did I know? How did I come about all of that? When I have a topic to teach,
yes,
I would study that topic all night. I had a particular way of sitting in the dark and just seeing only the computer screen.
Wow.
And study so much with a gift of imagination. I imagine myself either teaching that skill
Wow.
or consulting for that particular project,
Wow.
maybe organizational restructuring.
Wow.
I would study like 50 websites and processes, case studies on organizational restructuring. By the time I'm deploying it, until I would forget that I had never done it before.
Wow. Wow.
Because there will be so much patterns, stories, examples in my subconscious that I just leave it out.
Wow.
So knowledge would save you, knowledge would keep you, knowledge would save you from perishing. Because we all know, for lack of it,
Wow.
our people perish.
Knowledge would keep you, knowledge would save you.
It will stabilize you.
And knowledge will stabilize you.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, we could go on. And you know, as you're talking, I'm just picking up.
It's so
But you know, we're concentrating. But you know, thank you for doing this with us. I'm sure that this few minutes, I mean, would be life transforming for somebody out there.
It's my absolute pleasure.
I can't but thank you for
It's my
agreeing to
pleasure.
do this with us. So until we come your way again on the Now Show, this is your regular host, Abosede Ozao Show, with Enna. Okay, saying bye for now. Thank you.